because Dr. Daniel King at PSGA gave me that platform. So today, what we're doing through Futuro RGV is honoring emerging leaders, those who come from all walks of life, but who are giving back to our community in various diverse ways. I want to begin by first introducing our representatives from the UTRGV School of Medicine, Dr. Stanley Fish and Mr. Travis McAlpine. If you two would like to come up. Dr. Stanley Fish is the Associate Dean for Student Affairs at the UTRGV School of Medicine. He oversees the operations of programs that support medical student academic progress, and he's been practicing pediatric medicine here in the RGV for over 40 years. Mr. McAlpine, a very good friend of Futuro RGV, in constant contact making today happen, is the Senior Director of Development at UTRGV. In short, his work is fundamental to ensuring the high-quality program at UTRGV is funded. I want to thank both of you for coming tonight. I will pass it off to both of you to give more remarks about the School of Medicine and to talk more about the two white coat recipients we'll be
honoring. Hello, everyone. Again, my name is Travis McAlpine. I'm very honored to be here. This is my third year at this event, so I'm very, I would say a seasoned vet at this event. So I'm very glad to be here. We're very thankful to Futuro RGV for their continued support to the School of Medicine and UTRGV. It doesn't go unnoticed. Dr. Knurk is very advocate for the medical school and seeing those students succeed. So we appreciate their dedication and their continued support, and I look forward to seeing you again hopefully next year. Dr. Fish, speak a little bit more about the students and the importance of the white coat ceremony.
Thank you. Thank you for having us here at this event. Okay. Thank you for your support, your interest in our school, in our students. These two students are in our class of 2027, and they will, when they graduate, they will be our 8th class to graduate from our school. So, as our dean likes to say, we're not a new medical school anymore. We're an emerging medical school. We're evolving. That's the word we use. Evolving medical school. With their graduation in 2007, we will have graduated by then 450 or so students at that point. About half of them we expect at some point will come back to the Rio Grande Valley. Half of them are from the Rio Grande Valley. Either they grew up here or they have some connection through school, family, previous work here, but they have some connection here. And of course, our goal, our hope, and expectation is that about half of them will come back here and practice in the community, serve on our faculty, inspire and coach and mentor students like themselves through the process. A few weeks ago, actually it was the end of July, we conducted what's called the white coat ceremony. And should I go ahead and describe that? Did you at that point? Yes. Okay. And this is done now across the country at all medical schools. It was started about 30-some years ago in New York City at Columbia University. Dr. Arnold Gold, one of the faculty members of that medical school, became concerned that first-year medical students, well, all medical students at the time, he thought, seemed pretty jaded. They were kind of like his colleagues in practice. You know, they were not very empathetic, not very sympathetic. They weren't very good communicators with patients, even with each other. And so he designed several things. One was the white coat ceremony, something to be done at the start of their medical education to signal to them that they were really moving into something very special and quite different from civilian life, that things were about to change for them as they entered into medical school and became immersed in the heavy demands of their curriculum, and then ultimately, of course, going to patients' bedsides and trying to help people as physicians, as healers. And so he devised the white coat ceremony as an event to inculcate the sense of humanism and empathy in our students at an early point in their career through medical school. And so we, like all other schools in the country, we do that. And it was held at the end of July. They had just arrived a few weeks earlier, and we're finished with orientation, and we're taking some introductory courses. Things were fairly light as far as curricular demands go. It's different right now. We're thankful that they're here tonight because they have some exams coming up in the next few days. But the white coat ceremony is a public event. Their families and friends are there. It is not terribly formal. It's not like graduation where everybody's wearing caps and gowns and there's formal movement back and forth and such. There's a little bit of formality, but mostly it's centered on the students. So let me introduce Jacqueline Mendoza and Daniel Flores from our first year class. I'll wait to the right place to be on like you did at the ceremony. So it's a very simple ceremony, and Travis will help me out here. This is done by two members of the faculty or the dean and a faculty member, or a really nice touch, if one of our students has a parent who is a physician, then we have that parent come up and take the place of one of the faculty members. And so their names are called, and they simply come up, they bring with them their white coat. So Jacqueline, you put it on your arm like you had it that day. They just put it on their across their arm. And so they walk up and they're greeted by the dean and the faculty member, and we hand us the white coat, and then together we go put the white coat on. And all the while there are people taking pictures, and then the student walks across the stage and is greeted by the dean and congratulated. There are more pictures. And that's essentially it. And here comes Daniel. All right, we'll do that again. And this is a really, especially if one of the students has a parent who is a physician, this is a really nice moment. It happens again when they graduate. If they have a physician parent, then the physician parent then is given the honor of placing their doctoral hoods on them at the time they graduate. No, it only seems.
I feel like I've aged 20
Yes.
just in the past 2 months.
And then we have 55 or so students in the first year class. They all come up and do this exact thing. And then at the end of that portion of the ceremony, they recite the Hippocratic Oath, which is in past, that was something Dr. Gold thought was important. That was usually done when they graduate, and it still is done at graduation. But that, of course, comes at the end of 4 years of medical school. And so, again, Dr. Gold thought that it was important that students have the honor and privilege of reciting the oath at the beginning of their medical education as well as at the end, as a way of having them focus on the humanistic values of medicine. And so that's what we do. And that's the ceremony. Actually, if you want to, it's on our website, the UTRGV School Medicine website. You can see the whole ceremony. And it's a really nice event. And of course, as each student comes up, there's lots of whooping and hollering from the audience as the families and friends get involved. The real, and so wearing the white coat is, all right, so, like the colonel, when you go through basic training, you're no longer a civilian, you're doing something different. Well, for these students, now that they have a white coat, they are no longer really civilians. They don't perhaps realize it right now. They're slogging through basic science and clinical, algorithms and all sorts of stuff. But when they go home for Thanksgiving or Christmas, one of those, they're going to sit down at the dinner table, and Uncle Mike is going to lean over and say, "My doctor gave me this prescription for old use." And it's going to hit them like, wow, he thinks I'm a doctor, and then it goes on from there. But anyway, thank you again very, very much for allowing us to be here with you today, for celebrating our students and for our School of Medicine. It's been a long time coming. I remember discussions way back in the early 1980s. People talking about, dreaming about having a medical school here in the Valley. Here we are, and we have a bright future ahead of us. We have wonderful students who will lead the way, and we thank you for your support and for honoring them. Thank you.
Thank you.